Mm, live apparently. Is it working? You never know with these things. Good morning, hello, wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're in like America or Europe or even Tokyo, but welcome. And sorry again that my face may look a bit like tired. Me and mornings don't have a very good relationship. Oh, there we go. It's live now. Good. And I've got my morning tea. There you go. Off to a bad start though. Run out of milk, so that was a bit annoying. But someone guessed in the comments section, Lady Grey. Well done. This is the second time I've had Lady Grey. I bought it yesterday, and if you don't know anything about tea, it's like Earl Grey, but more fruity, I think. Anyway, yes. How are you all? And yeah, do you like the hat? Lovely, isn't it? 100 yen. 100 yen that hat. You know it's 100 yen because this fluffy stuff here has been falling out all over the apartment. So I'm probably going to have to burn this or throw it away sometime soon. And of course, for those of you that have seen the recent video, here's the star of the show, the cat, Mr. Snuggles. If you haven't seen the recent video, this cat pretty much just took over the video. And he is going to be featuring a lot more going forward. So that's exciting. Yeah, I don't really want a cat, to be honest. That was a lie. I don't really want a cat at all. But this is better than a cat because I can control it and do what I want with it in videos. So, yeah. And there appears to be another cat here as well. There's fucking cats everywhere. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but he just sits there on the counter. So I like to start these videos with a bit of show and tell. As for people who've watched the last two, you know I like to show off things that I've got in the apartment. There's a dog there. How have I never seen that? Look at this. There's another fake plant. I love fake plants. There's a dog on top. Where'd that come from? Fuck. I don't know what's going on. I've got like 3 fake plants in front of me. One over there and another one in there. Absolutely love fake plants. They give the room a real sense of vibrancy. And yeah, fake plants. If you're ever in a bad mood, get a fake plant. Make it like nice and green. This is a really good premium fake plant. Look at that. It's got rocks in there, so it looks really nice. It's got a bit of a Zen vibe going on. But yeah, that's good. I did actually spend about 2 years ago. I spent like $100, at 10,000 yen, on loads and loads of plants, and I put them on my balcony. It was wonderful. I had all these plants. I had a tomato fruit plant. It was magical. And then I forgot to water them for 2 weeks, and they all died. And I was left pretty traumatized by it all. And ever since then, I can't get real plants. I can't do it. I just feel too sad. But yeah. Oh, crikey, that's hot. And oh no, I won't show you that. Okay. Also, so here's some things. Last month I showed you Japanese learning resource, the Ultimate Japanese Phrase Book, which is really good for people learning Japanese, so you can learn lots of colloquial phrases. It's up there somewhere. All right, yeah, shit. This was the one I recommended last month. If you're learning Japanese, really good book, Ultimate Japanese Phrase Book, lots of colloquial expressions about things. This month, another book. It is Japanese idioms, 101 Japanese idioms. If you don't know what an idiom is, the best way to describe an idiom is shit. I don't know how to describe, because someone in the comments section, please write what an idiom is, and then I'll read it out. Because it's too early in the morning to describe what an idiom is. But here is an idiom. So this is my favorite Japanese idiom, and it is neko ni koban, which literally means a gold coin before a cat. And you kind of say it when you're talking about someone who's not particularly clever or smart. So here, it's like it's a bit like the phrase "pearls before swine." So the idea that you're wasting money by giving coins to a cat. An idiom is me after a few drinks. An idiom is a saying that doesn't necessarily mean anything on its own, but has a specific connotation. That makes sense. A gold coin before a cat. Neko ni koban. Remember that. Like coins to a cat. Like coins to Mr. Snuggles. A waste of money. But yeah, that's quite a good book. I haven't actually mastered them all yet. There's quite a lot. Don't know what that is. What's that? A beautiful girl in 8 directions. What does that mean? A beautiful girl in 8 directions. One who tries to please everyone. One who tries to please everyone. One who seeks popularity at the expense of integrity. What the hell? That's Haporbidgin. That's the word. That's the phrase. Haporbidgin means a beauty in 8 directions. Amazing. See, these are some pretty good expressions. I'd love to just whip out one of these expressions, one of these idioms, whilst in conversation with some sort of important Japanese person, and then I'll look really cool. You know, if I'm just talking and then I whip out, yeah, like coins to a cat. They'll be like, whoa, you know, Japanese idioms, and then I'll be popular and get lots of money, and I'll be amazing. So that's idioms. Get idioms, and yeah, these 2 books really awesome. And there's another thing I got this month. Floor the shit out of them. Yeah, that's right. Floor the shit out of them with idioms. Another thing I got, because as you know, this is a new apartment. I got it a few months ago after lots of contracts and horrible stuff. Getting an apartment in Japan isn't easy. You need either a good job or a sponsor to really help you get one. And if you're on the JET program, you get your apartment usually sorted for you and sometimes even paid. I found an ALT. I met with an ALT the other day, an assistant language teacher, and she had finished JET and her apartment had been paid for 1 year. On the other hand, I know people that have to spend like a third of their salary on apartments when they're on the JET program. So it's you never know what you're going to end up with. But anyway, I went through a little bit of hell getting this apartment, and like a lot of Japanese apartments, once you've found one that you like, you go, oh yeah, I like that one. They'll go, oh, you like that one? Well, you can't have it. You're a foreigner. Fuck you. And it's kind of like, oh, why did you show me it then? Yeah, so someone's written, why don't Japanese landlords like foreigners? I don't think it's the case that Japanese people don't like, Japanese landlords don't like foreigners. It's just because foreigners are so rare in Japan that they're a bit reluctant to give the apartment to a foreigner. You know, if you've got the odds of getting a foreigner in your apartment are very, very low, and so when it happens, you kind of think, oh, it's a bit of stress, isn't it? What if it goes wrong? And to be honest, I mean, whilst a lot of foreigners are nice, there's also a lot of dickhead foreigners who don't play by the rules, who are late on their rent, who are too noisy, who cause problems. So I guess they're kind of just a bit afraid, and it's a sense of trust as well. Maybe, you know, maybe the foreigner might run off back to the country without paying the rent. But at the other end of the spectrum, it is a bit, it can be very frustrating. So I'm kind of on both sides on that. But yeah, it's bloody annoying. Bloody annoying. But anyway, yeah, so I've been filling up this apartment with stuff, and now I'm at the point where I'm actually happy to live in this apartment. It's the first apartment I've lived in and enjoyed. Don't know why I bought this though. I thought, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Look at this. What's that? It looks really scary on camera. It looks frighteningly realistic, actually. It looks like a tiny dog on a motorbike. And I think, I mean, look at that. What's going on there? I mean, I think I might use that in a video, but I don't know how. It's a dog on a motorbike. I don't know. I just saw it. I'm not usually the sort of person who buys shit they don't need, but well, the hat. But like, I'm not usually the sort of person that buys shit they don't need, because I don't like to fill up my apartment with things. I like to keep it kind of empty. But I just saw that and I thought, yes, I need something that looks tacky and pretentious in my apartment. And he sort of just sits there over there on the sideboard, but I quite like it. It's grown on me, and I like to look at this and remind myself to do crazy and wacky things. You know, I mean, it's a dog on a motorbike. It reminds me to be a little bit weird from time to time and do things. But yeah, still finding a use for it in the videos, just like this cat. So yeah, stop motion, Mr. Snuggles will become the new anime craze. Yeah, maybe I could have the maybe I could have the dog. Maybe I could have the dog chasing the cat in stop motion, in animation. So the cat's like, and the dog's like, oh. And yeah, what am I doing? It's too early in the morning to be waving dogs on motorbikes around. But yeah, sorry, I'm a bit weird, aren't I? But I hope you like the stop motion. I hope the new video was good. It is one of the better videos I've made in a while. I've been making too many travel videos this year. There's no doubt about it. Whilst I like making travel videos, sometimes it's nice to not make travel videos, and I certainly need to get the balance a bit more going forward. As a lot of you know, I had a sponsorship thing going on with Odigo, so I had to make lots of travel videos, but that was all right because they let me have creative control. And if you ever do any sponsorship stuff, only do it on the condition that you get like complete creative control, no questions asked. You do whatever you want. So, but it's nice to go back to doing something a little bit more sarcastic, angry, and wacky. And they're the videos I enjoy making the most, admittedly. Now I've got a bit more travel stuff coming up. I'm going somewhere in Almori soon, next month. There's a place, I'm not making this up, there's a place where they believe that Jesus died. They believe there's a fucking town in Aomori in North Japan, a remote town, where they believe Jesus died, and I'm not even making it up. You can Google it. And I've been wanting to go there for years, and it looks like it's going to happen in late November. So that should be quite interesting. Could ruffle some feathers, because I'm going to call the video Jesus Died in North Japan, or just Jesus Died in Japan. And hopefully I'm going to interview a local who actually really believes it, because that'll be just amazing. Just interviewing someone that believes Jesus died in North Japan. They believe after apparently when Jesus was like 21 or something. I'm not familiar with the story of Jesus that well, but I know he went off into the desert for 40 days. Apparently they believe he just went to Japan for like 10 years or something, and he lived in Japan. I don't know how he got all the way from fucking Jerusalem to Tokyo to Aomori. Presumably just walked it, which would have taken, well, it would have been dead. So I don't really know how he got there. But then again, he is the Son of God. But anyway, they don't really dwell on that bit. They just say Jesus came to Aomori. He lived there. He had a family, and then he went back. He went all the way back again. And then I'm not making this up. This is what they believe. And he went all the way back now, and then he got crucified. But here's the best bit. Apparently, Jesus' brother took his place on the cross. So Jesus' brother actually died on the cross. The real Jesus. He then came back to Aomori and lived until he was 102. And that's what they believe. I'm not making that up. I haven't made that up now. It's too early in the morning for me to make things like that up. That's what they actually believe. Google it. Jesus died in North Japan. Jesus died in Aomori, and you'll find it out. But that video is going to do well, probably. But I think a few people won't be too happy about that, particularly evangelical Christians. But yeah, should be good fun. Right, it's time to crack on with some questions. I've actually got lots of questions I've written down. Look at that, putting in the effort. A few updates on things. So yeah, I've got a few videos coming up on the trip to Tohoku. So I won a competition, which is why there's been not that many videos this month. I've been traveling around Tohoku for 1 month, making videos about the food. It went quite well, but there's so much food. I had to eat out 2 times every day and eat a snack, and then I had to write articles about it and film it and stuff. So I naturally put on a little bit of weight. Eating out twice a day, it sounds nice at first, but once you have to do it every day for 30 days, by the end I just didn't want to eat food ever again, because I felt like I had, even if I wasn't hungry, I still had to eat ramen, I still had to eat noodles, I still had to eat stuff. And so yeah, that does explain a little bit why I'm chubby, although mainly it's just because I have a shit diet. But so that's kind of set me behind a little bit. The good news is, because this Tohoku trip was completely funded, because I won this competition to get it funded, and again, I've got complete creative control. It means the Patreon money doesn't need to be spent on that. The Patreon money is going to be used on upcoming Tokyo videos. So I'm finally going to make lots of videos in Tokyo. In fact, I'm going to Tokyo today. I keep forgetting about that. Going to Tokyo today, where I'm going to wrap up filming on a video that I made about a month ago. I need a few more scenes, but I went to all the 4 best observation points. Is that 4? What's that? The 4 best observation points in Tokyo. 4 skyscrapers. So Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Skytree, Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, and Mori Tower. And I went up each one of them in one day and reviewed them. to see which one was the best. And one of them was the clear winner, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to release that in a video. And so hopefully when you come to Tokyo, you'll know which one to go to. But I'll give you a hint. It's not the Tokyo Skytree. Rubbish. Don't go up the Tokyo Skytree. So much money. And whilst it's very tall, the second tallest building in the world, I believe. Whilst it's very tall, the Tokyo Skytree is kind of on the outskirts of Tokyo. So, not that great. You can't get a great view. You don't actually feel like you're in Tokyo. You feel like you're like looking at it from far away. So don't go. Have you ever been to Tokyo Disney? What's it like? Tokyo Disney is it's too. All right, I don't like Tokyo Disney, and I don't like Universal Studios either, because when I went to Tokyo Disney, I queued for a ride for 3 hours, and the ride was 50 seconds. So imagine 3 hours I waited for one ride. It wasn't even a good ride. It was like some sort of river, mountain, volcano boat ride. Don't know what it was called. But oh no, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. 3 hours I waited. And it was the shittest roller coaster I've ever been on. Absolutely rubbish. Don't go to Tokyo Disney, ever. It's not even cool in a sort of, wow, I can see the Japan side of things. It's not that good. If you've been to Disneyland in America or Europe, like, you don't need to go to the one in Japan. Don't bother. Go to Nasu Highland Park. It's called Nasu Highland Park. I went there with Natsuki in a video. The second weight loss video, I think, or the third weight loss video. Natsuki and I went to this theme park called Nasu Highland Park. It's in Tochigi Prefecture, which is about maybe an hour north of Tokyo by train. And this theme park is in the next to a mountain, and there's literally no one there. And there's like a dozen roller coasters. And because there's no one there, we didn't even have to queue. We went on roller coasters that were bigger and better than anything I've been on at Tokyo Disney or Universal Studios Japan. And yeah, it was amazing. Really good theme park, and I want to go back. And they've got Whoopi the Woodpecker. If you know Woody the Woodpecker, they've got a rip-off character that looks a lot like Woody the Woodpecker, but he's just called Whoopi the Woodpecker. And they've got these like rip-off Disney characters. So yeah, it's pretty funny just to go for that. But check it out on the video. Losing Weight in Japan week 2. I think it's in that one. But that's better than Tokyo Disney and Universal Studios combined. So, well, there goes the Disney sponsorship, says James. Yes, it is unfortunate. I've just blown my chance at getting a Disney sponsorship. Hi, Chris. Fellow Brit applying for JET this year. Any tips on the personal statements? Ah, right, okay. So there's lots of people who have asked about the JET program, Japanese Exchange Teaching Program. Lots of people seem to be applying. If you don't know what the JET program is, it's the teaching program that I came on, and about 2,000 people join every year, where you work as an assistant language teacher in the classroom, teaching English and stuff. Really great job. Highly recommend it to anyone. If you're writing a personal statement for the job, one of the things they're looking for is a well-rounded candidate, someone who will come to Japan and they can sort of drop you into any town or village around the country, and they'll think and they'll be comfortable that you can get on and thrive. So make sure you put in your personal statement that you are very adaptable, that you've learned, like you've done something relating to Japan. Maybe you've learned some Japanese, maybe you've been to Japan, maybe you've done something else, maybe done a Japanese martial art, for example, something like that. But make sure you've got some experience that you can actually apply as well. So before I went on JET, I loaded my CV with extracurricular activities just to show that I was a well-rounded, a well-rounded person. I mean, obviously I'm not, but I kind of gave the illusion that I was. So I did some class. I think I did a bit of tutoring at my university. I joined the ski club, so I went skiing. Don't know why that was relevant. What else did I do? I took some Japanese classes that didn't really teach me anything. I think, right, learning Japanese in a class, that never seems to work. I went for 3 months, and all I learned was how to say, oh, tashi wa Chris desu, and hajimemashite, and yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Took me 3 months. That was it, just that. But anyway, make sure you are a well-rounded person and you've got some sort of experience. I think if you know some Japanese, that's the most likely thing. That's the thing that will probably lead you to get the job. Although I noticed that 50% of people on JET only 50% actually know Japanese. The other 50% didn't know anything, and I was in that category. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. All right, so let's look through some of these many questions. So while we're on the subject of Jet, someone asked, Reese asked, how Jet benefited me personally and helped me develop myself. How Jet did that. I think being on Jet, I became a lot more open-minded. Before I went on the Jet program, I was very grumpy, and when people invited me to things or to take part in things, I just sort of went, nah, I'll just sit here. But then when I came on the Jet program, you're always invited to things. Maybe someone wants to invite you to their house for a dinner party. Maybe someone wants you to help teach a Kaiwa, an English language club. Maybe someone wants you to do a speech contest. I got invited to stuff like every day. And I just started saying yes, yes, yes. I became a yes man. And it really did improve my character. It made me a lot more fun and outgoing. And it made me feel a real part of the community. That while I was in the town of Sakata and the region of Yamagata that I lived in, I really did feel like I was a part of the community, and everyone seemed to know who I was. And that was quite cool. So yeah, a lot more open-minded. Self-efficacy went up. I felt like because I could do teaching, because I could use Japanese in a work environment, my self-belief kind of went up, and I kind of felt like I could do anything by the end of Jet. And I became just more confident. You know, when I my first year, I would walk into a class with 40 students, and it would be like the opening scenes of School of Rock with Jack Black. I sort of just stood there like, fuck, what do I do now? Because I'm not someone who ever thought they'd be a teacher. It was only decided to be a teacher like the year before I went to Japan. So I didn't really plan for it much. So I used to just sort of stand there like, shit. And there was like 40 teenagers aged 16 to 18 just staring at me like listening to my every word and command. And I just didn't know what to do. But by the end of it, by the end of my second year, by the middle of my second year, I was really confident. I could walk into a room without a plan, and I could kind of have an hour lesson. I could do things. I would do activities and stuff. So that was quite cool. I felt like I went from just shit to being quite good. And by the third year, I was like, yeah, I felt very confident in it. But it's strange, you know. I didn't ever think I would be an English teacher, to be honest. I was going to be like a businessman. I should have been in a room doing profit margins at some sort of big company. And then there I was in front of children trying to teach them how to use English. It felt like being in a movie. And that's the best way to describe it, because you'll go through tough times teaching in Japan. You'll go through tough times working in Japan. But because you're in such an alien environment, you probably will be because it'll be your first time in Japan. You'll be in such an alien environment that if you imagine you're in a film, then it makes it all a lot more fun. Because even the bad times, you kind of look at it from an outsider perspective and you go, that was funny, that terrible thing that happened, because it's like a movie. So yeah, if you're ever having a bad day, just imagine you're in a film. But don't go too far down that road because you'll just go crazy. Let's see some questions. You ever had problems with unruly kids? Yeah, a few times. I used to. Actually, Japanese kids are very good. Even the bad kids are actually quite cool. In fact, when you start teaching, you're kind of grateful and lucky and happy when you get a bad kid. Because when I say bad kids, I mean a noisy, overconfident kid that probably talks without putting their hand up. They just shout stuff all the time. And whenever I went to a class and I found I had one of these noisy children, I breathed a sigh of relief, because I was like, thank God. This noisy kid, which is usually in every class, is usually one or two, they'll rally the class together, they'll be fun, and you'll interact with them quite a lot, because a lot of Japanese kids are very shy, so it's good to have a noisy kid who just doesn't give a shit. But on other times, I did have kids that were too noisy, and I never knew how to deal with it. It wasn't really my job, because you're an assistant language teacher, you teach with a Japanese teacher of English, so it's not really your job to discipline the kids or go mental. But I remember I just used to, if everyone was talking, I'd just speak louder and louder and louder until I was literally just shouting like a fucking madman, and then they kind of quieted down. But yeah, kids were pretty good actually in Japan, so I was quite lucky after 3 years. Let's see. What are the common things covered by the JET program, and what kind of income an assisting English teacher can expect? An assisting English teacher. Well, if you're on JET program, you can expect about 220,000 yen a month after tax, which is about $2,200, I think. And it was a good salary. When I first came to Japan in 2012 and I got the JET salary, I was elated because it was a decent salary. And that, well, it was a decent salary in pound terms. It was about 28 or 29,000 pounds. And then the yen kind of went, oh, and then fucking collapsed. And so I had to send money back home, and just became completely worthless. It went from like, my salary went from like 28,000 pounds a year to about 19,000 pounds a year. So yeah, but the JET salary is pretty good, and I live pretty comfortably, so it was pretty cool. Another popular question here by Noel. After teaching with JET, is it hard to find a sponsor to stay teaching even after time with JET? No, there's loads of jobs in Japan. Actually, I know quite a lot of JETs. Maybe 20% of JETs that I know finish the JET program and then just go off and do something else. Usually they go to Tokyo. Tokyo is the easiest place to go. And a lot of people become recruitment consultants. I guess it's an easy job and the salary's all right, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know anyone who's particularly enjoyed doing it. So that's another one, recruitment consultant. Consultant, is that a word? Recruitment consulting, there you go. More English teaching. A lot of people probably do lots of English teaching still. And there's lots of other companies you can do English teaching with. You can either stay in the area you are by applying for Interact or maybe one of the smaller Japanese language companies, or you could just go to Tokyo or the city of your choice and maybe find another job. But there's lots of jobs going after JET. So yeah, have you ever met a JET ALT who brought their pet to Japan? No, I haven't actually. All right, that's enough of JET for now. Let's go off on a different topic, unless there's any more JET questions. No. All right, cool. That's JET covered for today. But good luck to anyone applying. I know there's quite a few people here who are applying for JET. Good luck. It's a nerve-wracking process, and I still remember the day quite clearly that I was at work drinking coffee, and I got the phone call saying I got the job, and it was quite weird. When you get on the JET program, you either get a piece of paper saying you're on it, or sometimes you get a phone call, and I got a phone call from some woman at the British Embassy, and she was like, "Hello, are you Chris?" I was like, "Yep, it's Chris," and she was like, "Do you want to move to Japan?" I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, you've got on the JET program." Oh, thank you. That was quite fun. But yeah, so you might get the phone call. So if you get that phone call, good lucky you. All right, let's have a look. Natsuki the movie. So Natsuki the movie is a movie with Natsuki. So as you know, we broke the $3,000 reward tier on Patreon last month, which is amazing. Thanks for your support, guys. I'm blown away by it. I can believe it. In fact, when I made the target, Natsuki the movie, whilst I genuinely did plan to make Natsuki the movie, it wasn't like oh yeah, we'll do that. We probably won't. I genuinely thought we're going to do Natsuki the movie, but I didn't anticipate that we'd reach $3,000 in like 2 months. So when it happened, I was like, oh shit, I've got to make Natsuki the movie now. But I'm really excited about it, and I am still working out what to do with it. I'm meeting some filmmakers next week, the week after, because obviously it's a big job, and I don't want to just do it the sort of way I normally do videos. I want to go the extra mile kind of thing. I'm thinking it's going to be more of a documentary though, or maybe a mockumentary, because if it's a film, Natsuki's going to have to act, and there's no need to have Natsuki act because he's already an interesting and brilliant character. You know, all the things Natsuki says, they're not scripted. He just says amazing things. Like, shit, what was I don't know if you've seen it. I had a trailer out for the Tohoku 365 food trip. I had a trailer. And yeah, at the start of the video, we're eating steak. And I asked him, how would you rate this steak on a scale of 1 to 10? And he was like, 10. And I was like, and how would you describe this delicious steak in one word. And he went, oh, justice delicious. It's justice delicious. What does that even mean? Justice delicious. But it's brilliant. I love that phrase. I want to get a t-shirt with the words justice delicious and maybe some picture of some hamburger on the front. But he just says amazing things that I just cannot think up. No one can script this excellence. So I think a documentary or a mockumentary. And although I know the reward, someone's just written about the reward tier. It's not, well, I'm not going to just spend $3,000 on this. I'm going to actually spend more. So probably 2 or even 3 months of Patreon money might go on this. Or I might use the money I've just saved up altogether for abroad in Japan. But yeah, I'm hoping to make a good documentary that might actually be a real documentary, not like a documentary just for YouTube. It might actually be a real documentary because I quite want to. Next year is the year that I want to move up to the next level and not just be a YouTube person, but actually be like a filmmaker. So it's a good chance, I think, to do that. Only thing is the concept, thinking up the concept. So I don't know. One idea we had was to take Natsuki around the world and get him to review different cities. So take Natsuki to New York or take him to London and then obviously Tokyo and get him to compare each. Bloody hell, too much tea. Get him to compare each city or just undertake some kind of challenge. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'm certainly going to turn to Patreon, you guys, and get some ideas because it's not a job that I could just, I don't know, I want to sort of crowdsource ideas and inspiration. So yeah, another reward tier we had was $1,500 tier was a video. Well, I said we'd make a travel video, Natsuki and I asked you guys to submit a place that you want us to go. And it looks like Akihabara, as I mentioned before in a previous place. Akihabara, I'm probably going to go there. If you don't know what Akihabara is, well, everyone knows what Akihabara is. You must know. How would you describe Akihabara? Someone in the comment section. It's like a part of Tokyo that's probably, I don't know, it's supposed to be like the craziest place. There's lots of Japanese pop culture, there's maid cafes, there's anime, there's manga, but it's lots of cool stuff and retro games, lots of retro games. We'll probably go there. And we are going there actually. In 3 weeks, we're going there and we're going to make a video. And that's going to be the $1,500 reward video. So that should be good. But we're actually going to make several videos in Tokyo. He's going to be part of the Tokyo series, so that should be cool. Am I the only one who would love to go drinking with Chris and Natsuki, says Sean. Going drinking with Chris and Natsuki, it's yeah, it's always interesting because Natsuki just gets drunk really quickly and then just goes a bit crazy. But yeah, going drinking with Natsuki is always fun. All right, on to the questions. I've only answered one, so I feel a bit bad. Let's see. What's the best thing about living in Sendai, says Harry. The best thing about living in Sendai is the size. It's the perfect size for a city. There's every shop and restaurant you could ever want. There's lots of Spanish and Mexican restaurants for some reason. And there's lots of trees. It's quite nice. It's not too crowded. It's not too densely populated. So, for example, Tokyo's population, 27,000 people per square mile, I think. In Sendai, it's just 9,000. So not half as dense. But it's really connected. So you can get to Tokyo in 90 minutes by bullet train. I can get to Osaka in about another 90 minutes by low-cost airplane. In fact, it's cheaper to go from Sendai to Osaka than it is from Sendai to Tokyo. So it's pretty cool. And obviously, I get to live near Tohoku. But Sendai is really cool. Highly recommend it. Next, let's see. House of Cards or Breaking Bad, says Wessel. I would say Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad genuinely left me traumatized by some of the stuff I saw in it. I've never really been moved by TV that much, and then there was Breaking Bad. Some of the stuff I saw in Breaking Bad, yeah, I don't know, I can't get it out of my head. But it's in a good way. Like it's amazing. It's that good that it had that much of an effect on me. So Breaking Bad beats House of Cards, I'd say. What do you think? I think most people would agree with that as well. And I find when I ask most people Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, I find most people say Breaking Bad. So, although I prefer Game of Thrones, just more politically fun and more fun characters. Have you ever been to Kabukicho? says Mislav. Yes, I've been to Kabukicho, the red light district in Tokyo. It used to be when we first came on Jet. They warned you in your first week of the Jet program. You end up in a hotel in Tokyo in Shinjuku. They put you in a hotel for like 3 or 4 days, and they warn you not to go to the west side of Shinjuku to Kabukicho. So naturally, you want to go because you want to see what it's like. But back in 2012, when I first came, Kabukicho was a lot more intimidating, shall we say? It's a lot more sinister because there's lots of people trying to push you around and drag you into bars and then like lace your drinks with drugs and steal all your money, which isn't an exaggeration. It still happens. But now Kabukicho is a lot more family friendly, and when you go down there, again, when I used to go down there, there's like no tourists. Now everyone in Kabukicho is a tourist, in large part due to Robot Restaurant, which is right in the middle of Kabukicho. But it's a cool place, and it's a great place to get lost. It's pretty safe. It's not like, it's someone's written, it's not threatening at all. It's not threatening at all. And it's it's cool. There's lots of restaurants and bars, but it's the sort of place you want to go with your camera because you'll get some amazing shots just of the neon lights and the crazy wackiness. Awesome place. You have to visit it if you come to Japan, if you come to Tokyo. But I've been to Kabukicho many times, and haven't had any bad experiences yet. Although I'm fed up of going to a Robot Restaurant. A bit boring now. Don't go to Robot Restaurant. Well, okay, do go to Robot Restaurant, but yeah, it's a bit what else we got? Has Japan become monotonous over the years? Says Chris from Texas. That's an interesting question. Has Japan become monotonous? I find that some of the magic has worn off. Naturally, in my first year, everything was magical. I was completely new and alien to things. And these days, I find it a lot more difficult to make a shocked video, talking about something weird I've seen, just because I feel a lot less shocked by Japan these days. I wouldn't say I'm bored of Japan yet. I'd say the things that do make me feel a little bit bored are a lot of cities feel the same. You go to many cities, it looks pretty much the same. It has all the exact same shops and things, and there's no real history because, unfortunately, after World War II, a lot of things got bombed and firebombed and destroyed. But there's just not much in the way of history. And if you do visit a castle, it's usually been rebuilt like 50 times, so it's lost a lot of its magic. And interactions with people always go through the same pattern. Whenever you meet a stranger, a Japanese stranger, the interaction is always the same. Like, where are you from? Why have you come to Japan? How old are you? Do you like Japan? What's your favorite food? And you kind of get a bit, how do I say? You kind of just get a bit fed up with the same conversations, to be honest. And so, yeah, that's the thing that is a bit sad. Some of the magic is gone, but I still see myself being here for a good few years yet, and I want to be here at least until the Olympics, because I think it's going to be quite fun in the run up to the Olympics. So yeah, maybe you're stuck in the Matrix. Maybe I am. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I find a lot of people kind of feel like they've seen and done everything in Japan after like 3 years, maybe. So if you come here, maybe you'll feel the same. But that said, I still feel like I still get excited going out, trying different bars. The food's amazing. There's so much food to try. There's lots of unique, cool bars. And I still feel like I'm in a movie. As I said before, I often feel like I'm in a movie. When I'm walking down like a neon lit alleyway at night, or I'm walking through Tokyo in the morning at 5 a.m., then I feel like I'm in a movie and I love it. So, have you been to Fukuoka yet? No, I haven't been to Fukuoka. It's top of my list of places to go. How tall are you? And if you're tall for Japan, do you often get your height commented on? I'm about 5'9", 5'10"-ish. Not like, I think I'm average height, and above average height in Japan slightly. But no one ever comments on height in Japan. I think if you're really tall, if you're like maybe 6'2", then you'll get people commenting on your height quite a lot. Other than that, not an issue. Natsuki the movie, the Olympics. There's a sequel right there. Yeah, Natsuki the movie, the Olympics. I don't even know what that would entail. What's your biggest passion outside of YouTube? Says Giancarlo. My biggest passion outside of YouTube is, well, filmmaking in general. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, and doing this has led me to go back down that path, especially with my recent stop motion cat adventures. I like to just, this isn't really a hobby, I just like to stroll around early in the morning. That sounds really weird, I know, but I always, I don't know, I find I'm happiest when I get up at 5 a.m. and then at 6 a.m. or so, I'm walking around a Japanese city like Tokyo, and it's got sort of fresh morning air. It's kind of peaceful and calm, the calm before the storm of millions of people getting up for work, and just watching people clean the shop or go jogging. It's just fun. If you come to Japan, I highly recommend in Tokyo getting up at like 5 a.m. and walking from Shinjuku, around Shinjuku area, to Ginza, and going through all the areas like Shibuya, Roppongi, what else is there? Shimbashi. Go through all those areas, just walk for like 3 or 4 hours, probably about 4 or 5 hours actually, and just take in all the scenery. That's actually my favourite thing to do. I might make a video about it. I don't know if I can capture the nice brilliance of it all, but yeah, walk around Tokyo early in the morning and you can just feel the whole city come alive. You can be there in Shinjuku in the morning as it turns from a very silent, peaceful place into the world's busiest like area. You know, Shinjuku Station is the busiest station in the world in Tokyo. But yeah, Tokyo. Walk around it in the morning. And other hobbies. I like video games. Although I haven't had a console in like 2 years now, so I really need to get my shit together. Philosophy as well. I started reading philosophy 2 years ago, and that helps to make me, I don't know, I just feel a lot more calm reading philosophy. That's kind of a hobby. And studying Japanese as well is a bit of a hobby as well. But this year I barely studied at all, so that's a shame. I need to get back on. My Japanese has actually sort of peaked about 2 years ago, and then it's kind of not as good anymore at the moment. So, but disappointed about that. Have you played pachinko machines? What's the deal with the tuck shops always near pachinko parlors? All right, so if you don't know what pachinko is, it's a really popular thing in Japan that is difficult to explain. Google pachinko if you don't know what it is, but it's kind of depressing when you find out what it is because so many people do it. It's basically a machine where there's lots of metal ball bearings going around this sort of going around the machine in circles basically, and you press various buttons to control where they're going. A bit like a pinball machine, but pinball machine extreme is the best way to describe it. But you can win money. So you win ball bearings, you win the metal balls. And when you win them, you usually win a lot. I'm talking like dozens, hundreds of them. And so you feel like you've won something amazing because they all come out, like hundreds of them. I went with Natsuki and a friend for the first time, and Natsuki hit the jackpot, and he got like 1,000 fucking little ball bearings coming out. And you get these buckets. You get a bucket that sits next to you, and you fill it with these ball bearings. And then what you do, you go around to the back of the shop, the pachinko parlor, and you cash them in, usually for a prize or a piece of gold or something. But because gambling is illegal in Japan, there's a parlor, there's like a little shop, maybe like 2 streets away around the back of the pachinko place, where you can cash in your prize for real money. So Natsuki won, he got lots of ball bearings, he cashed it in for a piece of like gold, useless stuff. And then we went to this parlor, handed it in, and he got like $100. He got about 10,000 yen. So you can win money, but yeah, because it's illegal to gamble in Japan, they've got this system that's an absolute joke when you think about it. Like that would never, they'd never work like in another country because it's rubbish. It's ridiculous. Like how can they get away with that? But yeah, so if you go to pachinko, you can actually get money. You just need to go to the shop around the back, hidden around the back. Weird. But pachinko is very depressing, and I know a lot of people. Well, I don't know a lot of people, but I know I had an ex-girlfriend whose dad lost tens of thousands of dollars, gambled away tens of thousands of dollars on pachinko, just on these fucking ball bearings going round and round. And he had to take a loan from the Yakuza or something, and it all went to hell. But yeah, it's just depressing to think you're gambling but not even doing anything good. You know, if you're gambling on something fun and you're losing the money, well, it's still quite bad, but still better than fucking ball bearings going around a machine. But yeah, if you don't know what it is, look it up and you'll be as shocked and disturbed as I was when you find out what it is. But they're everywhere, particularly in the countryside, and they have these really nice, super big, swanky buildings that look amazing. And you're driving down the highway and you see them in the distance, this really cool building shaped like a Roman palace. A Roman palace? What's a Roman palace? Like a temple or Roman style building. And they're usually really elaborate and brilliant. And they look so nice. And then you go in and it's just a pachinko parlor. So don't get it. But yeah, it's quite funny. It's quite awesome how they get around it. This weird shop around the back always surprises me. Crikey, questions. Oh my god, there's so many questions here. My creative process. How do you sketch out a video? How much research goes into it? Says Brian. Interesting question. I don't really talk about the creative process that goes into the videos. Usually it starts around a point or an idea or a scene that I have in my head. Like for example, if you know the hate mail video last year, I was listening to Duran Duran. I was listening to Ordinary World, and I just thought it'd be quite fun to read some hate mail and walk off towards a mountain listening to this song. So the whole hate mail video was kind of born out of listening to Duran Duran and that scene at the end of the video. But I tend to find my videos are built around a point, one point, or a scene. I have a scene in mind. And if you're ever struggling to think of a video, just listen to music as well. Like in this recent video with Mr. Snuggles, the stop motion scene at the end, that I only filmed that like 2 days ago, yesterday, the day before, and wasn't even planning to put it in. But I listened to that song. If you listen to the song that's going on whilst the scene's happening, I was just listening through some royalty-free music to use in the videos, and I came across that song. I was listening to it. And then I just pictured this cat just sort of going around in stop motion. I thought that could be quite fun. That could fit quite nicely. So yeah, if you're really stuck for ideas, listen to music and the ideas will just flow. But yeah, that's one idea. That's one way my ideas are born. But have a point. That's the most important thing. Have a point when you're making a video or scripting something. A real point that you want to make. You know, in the recent video, I had several points. I was a bit annoyed at being called fat every day for like a year while I was in Japan. I always wanted to make a video about that. Although I think I struggled to capture my frustration in this recent video. But I also had a bit of a rant, a bit of an angry moment at other vloggers, because I'm a bit fed up of all these other vloggers at the moment whose videos are just, I don't know, maybe. Is it born out of jealousy that I'm angry at other vloggers sometimes? Maybe. But when you spend so much time making a video, doing something, and it gets good views, but then someone can make a video that's not that great about nothing, and they get like 10 times the views or whatever, then you get a bit frustrated sometimes. But at the same time, I'm a bit annoyed about lots of, and someone's written here, do you hate Casey Neistat? I like Casey Neistat. He's actually a really good vlogger, and I watched some of his videos more recently, and I've just thought, yeah, this guy's got it. But everyone seems to copy Casey Neistat and try and do his thing, you know. And so, yeah, I don't know. But I'm not against time lapses either. As you know, in another video, I've sort of had a angry moment at time lapses. I love time lapses. Time lapses are good, but again, they're just overused and everywhere at the moment, and they sort of stand in for good narrative. But I know, and also that angry moment in a recent video where I was sort of walking around Akita City, looking pissed off and sort of just being really sarcastic. That was a attack on a travel vlogger who I don't think, they're not in Japan. You won't know who they are. Who came to Japan and did lots of time lapses and stuff, but didn't really show anything. Like, he went around Tohoku, but he didn't actually show anything in the video. He didn't teach you anything. He didn't tell you anything of value. He's just going around with his camera like that, just talking and just be like, oh, I'm in a fucking temple, I'm in a street, and it's just really drove me mad, just annoyed me. People aren't, thinking of a good, interesting narrative or teaching anything of value. It's all just superficial, shit. It's just all too like over stylized bullshit. So yeah, but I wasn't in the recent video. I wasn't really having a pop at anyone in particular, you know. And I'm also just fed up of lots of healthy lifestyle vloggers, people raging about all the healthy shit they do and just faking their lifestyle in a video. You know, I find a lot of people in a lot of these vloggers sort of preach about the importance of individuality. You're special, be yourself, you know, be you. But only if you buy the products and things that I use and do the things that I do, you know. So I'm kind of fed up. And in this video, the recent one with the cat and the everything, the one I released yesterday, there was a really hardcore, crazy sequence at the end of the video that I was going to put in that I filmed and edited, where I had like an actual kind of mental breakdown. And it's a montage sequence where it's so crazy, I can't really explain it. But there was more scenes of me as the healthy lifestyle vlogger talking to this cat, and it all got a bit mental. But I watched it over, and I just thought, oh, maybe some vloggers will be too offended by this. I don't want to piss anyone off. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm not really. I'm happy with the things I do. The thing is, if you ever do YouTube, don't compare yourself to anyone. Just be yourself. Truthfully, I don't really watch that many YouTube videos these days because I don't know. I just don't watch a whole lot of YouTube. If I'm not making a video myself, I like to do other things, you know. And if you spend too much time watching videos on YouTube, you'll find it's going nowhere, you know, unless you're learning something. So put it unlisted and link it to Patreon, says Rasmus, referring to the scene that I just mentioned. Yeah, it's tempting. It's a really good sequence, actually. It's yeah, no, I can't though. I'm worried. I don't want to piss anyone off because I watched it back. This montage, this crazy montage sequence, right? To give you some idea what's going on, there's me. I start the sequence by staring at a piece of fried chicken, and I say, if I can stare at this piece of fried chicken without eating it for 90 seconds, then I won't get fat. And as I'm staring at this piece of fried chicken, this crazy music comes on. And then the sequence, the healthy lifestyle vlogger sequence is in it. And then there's another one. And then it all just goes mental. And all the comments, the fat comments that I'm reading out at the start of this video, the last video, they all start coming out. And then this cat is there and he's rolling around in a pile of money. And it's fucking mental. Yeah, I can't describe it, but yeah. That's enough on that. That's all I'll say on that. Let's see. What is your dream project? No limits in budget or creative freedom. From an anonymous commenter. My dream project, if I had unlimited funds, would be to buy an island and start a new country and start from scratch. A country where I could have complete control over everything, which sounds quite scary and sinister. But it'll be a good country. It'll be fun. There'll be no modern pop music. There'll be no Iggy Azalea, and everyone will have to read books on philosophy and actually think about their life more carefully. But that sounds quite vague. But yeah, I think it'd be quite fun to start a country or a movement or a community or something. But it does sound quite sinister. But more realistic, my dream project is just to make a short film, actually, or a documentary, and try and get it seen somewhere. Like I said, my aim is to get Natsuki the movie into an actual documentary film festival. That's why I need to meet with filmmakers and actually get a really good budget together for it. But yeah, can I build a castle in your country? You can, yeah, if the country's big enough. I was inspired by Larry Ellison, who I think I mentioned him in a previous video. Why am I always on about Larry Ellison? Who bought an island in Hawaii for $500 million. It's quite a decent island. It's quite big. And I just thought, wow, imagine you could buy an island. And what annoys me, all these billionaires, so like Bill Gates, $70 billion, Warren Buffett, $60 billion, why are they not doing fun things with the money? Why are they doing, I mean, granted, Bill Gates is saving the world from poverty and death, but why haven't they built like a fucking Jurassic Park? Why haven't they built a theme park on an island full of dinosaurs? Why haven't they colonized Mars? They got $60 billion, $50 billion, $20 billion. Spend it on things that are good before you're dead. I don't get it. Instead of sending it to the Bahamas or the Caribbean to sit in a bank. Don't get it. It annoys me. But anyway. But yeah, that's my dream project. To sum that up. Welsh. Do's and don'ts whilst living with a host family, says Anton. When you're with a host family, I think the problem most people make when they go with a host family is some people don't eat the food they're given. And in Japan, the biggest faux pas you can make is rejecting or disliking the food that the person's cooked for you. So if you stay with a host family and you're given a plate of something that can only look like something that can only be described as just shit, still eat it and still go, oh, it's so delicious, yeah, I just need the toilet, and then go and be sick afterwards. But just show that you love the food and don't ever reject it, because that seems to be where things go wrong. I watched someone I know, another vlogger, had talked about their experience in Japan at a host family, and it all went wrong when they started rejecting the food. So yeah, and just be polite and nice and smiley. But I've stayed with the host family twice, and it's always gone well. But yeah, just eat the food, whatever it is, for the love of God. When you're bored, what are some of the ways you pass the time, says Preston. It sounds like a bit of a cliche, but I rarely have the time to be bored. It sounds like a real cliche, that phrase, doesn't it? But I really do not have much time to be bored. I'm always, if I'm not working on a video, I'm either filming a video or planning a video or editing a video. So yeah, I'm seldom bored, but when I am, I like to watch sitcoms. I unwind by watching sitcoms, usually from the 80s or 90s. I like Only Fools and Horses and Blackadder in the UK. They're my two favourite. I'm Alan Partridge, The Peep Show, not The Peep Show. So yeah, I always watch sitcoms. I just watch a random episode, or even The Simpsons actually, before season 9, because after season 9, The Simpsons are shit, which makes me wonder why The Simpsons are still a thing. But yeah, Frasier, Seinfeld. Frasier's all right. Seinfeld, never really got into it. Friends is all right, but it's not as biting. Yeah, Friends, yeah, there you go. Friends is okay, but it's a bit too happy, smiley, near. And the thing about Friends is I always got a bit fed up of that bloody recurring plot line with Ross and Rachel. So yeah, British sitcoms. I'm a big fan of British sitcoms. So that's the best way to unwind and do things if you're bored. Watch sitcoms, and they'll cheer you up. What else we got? Have you ever lost motivation to do something that you wanted to do for yourself in life and been able to get your motivation back, says Justin. I lost my appreciation for life at one point, which sounds like terrible. While I was on Jet, actually, that tough time that I talked about, my tough time on Jet, wasn't really relating to Jet. I was just going through a tough time because, I don't know, I had a tough time, and I think I started to become quite anxious because while I was teaching, in my first year, as I said, I wasn't a very good teacher, so I was worried a lot, and yeah, I kind of lost my appreciation for life. I just would wake up in the morning and go, oh fuck, I've got things to do, you know. But I found after reading philosophy for about 6 months, I started to see the world from a different perspective and start to appreciate my surroundings. You know, it's a shame when you reach that point, when you lose your appreciation for living, when you stop looking at the things around you because you're so consumed by just things you've got to do or stress and anxiety, whatever. But it happened to me. It really, for about a year, I was in a shitty place, which is part of the reason I put on weight, I think. But I just, yeah, every thought I had was negative. And so, but philosophy saved me from the brink. And I kind of want to make a video about that. But I might do it as an Abroad Japan Stories because it's quite personal, and yeah, I don't know if I want it out there. But yeah, philosophy was my salvation. More importantly, more specifically, Greek Stoicism, which when you think of Stoicism, you think Gladiator, Russell Crowe, Gladiator. But it's not like that. It's not like that at all. But I reckon Stoicism. I'm going to make a video about that and recommend some books. But Stoicism changed everything. And again, as I said before, I like to walk through cities in the morning and just take things in. I found once I'd read philosophy and lost my anxiety and stuff, I just used to walk around cities in the morning and take it all in and feel appreciative, you know. So yeah, I lost my appreciation for life, but I got it back. And also YouTube. I lost my appreciation for YouTube a bit by doing so many travel videos this year, because as you know, I'm sponsored a bit by Odigo, and I don't know, when you have to do something, it kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. So yeah, I lost my appreciation for YouTube a bit. but I've got it back, and the video I released yesterday was a step back in the right direction, I think. So that's good. But if you become a YouTuber, why am I drinking out the mug? There's nothing even really in it. It's a bad habit, isn't it? Look at that. It's just cold tea. Someone's asked for comment of the week. Comment of the week. Shit. Where is comment of the week? All right, so I usually do comment of the week for this, and my most hated comment of the week. All right, so this is my comment of the week. I can't show you. I'm going to read it out. Someone wrote, "Last night I had a dream. I was telling someone about this channel. I don't know why though. I'm concerned." So that's my comment of the week. At what point? Why do people write things like that? There's often people who say they've dreamt of my channel or me, and I don't understand why. But I like people who also leave comments about how like this video has affected them in real life. So someone here, a girl called Brittany, wrote on one of the videos, "Damn it, you're so funny. I can't stop laughing, and my Airbnb host asked if I could be more quiet." So I like that, because that's my comment of the week, because I like to think that one of these videos annoyed someone who runs an Airbnb place. That's quite cool. YouTube, the effect it has in real life. All right, time to wrap things up. Any last questions before I go and prepare for my trip to Tokyo? God, I look a lot better with the hat on, don't I? Shit, the hat goes back on. I think next time I do this, I'm going to do it in the evening, my time, Japan time, because I'm more awake and alive. I'm a little bit tired in the morning. I'm not very good at like waking up. Opinions on Airbnb in Japan. Airbnb in Japan, good. I've done 3 Airbnbs in Japan, and I did one just actually with the Tohoku 365 trip around Tohoku. I stayed with a guy in Morioka who was amazing, really nice guy, had a really big apartment. He's an American guy who lives in Morioka in Iwate Prefecture. I stayed with him and he was so nice. Showed us around Morioka. He had the best coffee I've ever had, just fresh coffee. And so yeah, Airbnb, I've had really good experiences with it, and I need to try it more. And it usually works out a little bit cheaper than doing a hotel, but just make sure you find the right place. So yeah, but Airbnb is pretty good. And also I got a really nice apartment once overlooking the Sensoji Temple in Asakusa in Tokyo. And I remember just opening the sort of balcony door of this apartment, looking out and having the temple from Asakusa there, and it was really cool. Airbnb is really good, actually. Highly recommend it. Please raffle off the hat to Patreon pledges. I might do, actually. I've got a few props that I want to play. I want to sort of raffle off to Patreon people, so I might look into that. And I don't really want this hat much longer. I don't particularly like it. It's quite shit. I mean, it's really good, and that's why you should definitely get it in the raffle. I just noticed the rabbit on the hat, says Laura. There's a rabbit on the hat. Fuck me, there is. Didn't even notice that. See, I don't notice things. It's awful. What's the view like in your apartment now? It's all right, actually. You can see the Sendai skyline, which is quite cool. So I thought about making a video out there where I could be like a rapper, because it's cool to rap and have a skyline in the background, apparently. So I might do that. But the view's pretty good. Wow, it's all right. Please consider doing it on a weekend. If you do it in the evening. Yeah, okay. Next time I do this, I'll do it in the weekend. I'll do it on the weekend, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday. I want to do it this weekend, actually, but I'm in Tokyo, so for a Halloween party, amongst other things, and a visit to Yokohama, because I haven't been to Yokohama in a while, and I want to go to Chinatown. So, can you see that big white statue? No, I can't. Referring to there's a statue in Sendai that's like the 6th largest statue in the entire planet. I can't believe that, and it's of a big Buddha. And if you see it from a distance, it'll give you a fucking nightmare, because it looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man out of Ghostbusters when you see it. You can just picture it coming to life. But yeah, Google it. The Sendai Daikanon statue, biggest statue in like Japan. It's crazy. Will there be Yokohama videos? Yes, but I'm not going to film it this weekend. And what are you being for Halloween? Well, I haven't really worked out a costume. I'm absolutely rubbish when it comes to costumes. The last costume I did, I went as the Candyman, which isn't even a character. Is it a scary character? I don't know. But I went to a Daiso. I went to the 100 yen shop, and I bought about $30 worth, 3,000 yen's worth of sweets, and I just stuck them to my t-shirt, and I just went as the Candyman, and I got like a bowler hat that was like 100 yen, and I stuck sweets to that as well, and that went down really well. I won a competition for the best dressed Halloween person, and it was like made up on the spot. It was brilliant. Although to be fair, I did put some serious effort into sticking the candy to myself. But yeah, goes the Candyman, and then best thing, it's an edible costume. You can eat it afterwards. So once the party's over, you can just eat your costume. Brilliant. Although a lot of people just did steal my costume as well. That was a bit shit. Cool. Any more questions? Some more videos for a broad perspective coming soon. Yes, I'm still working out what to do with the broad perspective. I want to do more vlogging style videos. I did think about vlogging my journey to Tokyo today from Sendai, but is it interesting enough? Probably not. Also, I think I might do a broad in a pan where I'm going to teach you how to cook things. Although obviously it'll probably go horribly wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still working out what to do with the broad perspective. So we'll see. But I want to do more vloggy stuff. But I'm having an allergic reaction to making a vlog just because it's not my character. So we'll see. Favorite snack in Japan? My favorite snack in Japan is fried chicken on a stick known as kareagebo. It's a stick, it has about 4 pieces of fried chicken. You can get it at every major convenience store, and it's the most addictive, brilliant thing ever. So you'd be surprised at what people seem interesting for vlogs, says Alyssa. Yeah, I know a lot of people do like vlogs, but I don't know. I don't know if I can make something that I don't think I'd enjoy watching myself. So maybe that's it. Yeah. Do you ever meet up with subscribers like Solo Travel Blog does? Does he do that? Dustin does that? Didn't know that. I haven't really done a fan meetup before. I did it once or twice, and it's kind of. I went to a fan meetup in Tokyo, Roppongi, which is like the nightlife district, and I went into the room, and there was other vloggers there. There was like Rachel and Jun. There was Victor, Give Me a Break Man. There was like I think Charlotte wasn't there. There was lots of vloggers, and I had so many people coming and talking to me. There was like a line of people, and I was trying to make my way through this bar. It wasn't in a big room. There's about maybe 100 people in it, and every corner I turned, someone came and talked to me. And whilst I love talking to people, I love meeting people, I felt really overwhelmed. So I'm not sure I'll do another meetup, or well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if it's a bit more structured. But yeah. What else we got? There's so many questions here. What's your typical cooking like? My typical cooking is awful. I can only cook an omelette and just chicken in a pan. That's basically it. But I'm going to teach you how to cook chicken in a pan. So keep an eye out for that. More overexcited Instagram stories. Yes, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I've got this, as you know, there's this thing called Instagram stories now, which you may not know, but it's basically a 10-second video. You can film anything, a bit like Snapchat, really. But I've been having some fun with it. I quite like just doing stuff for like 10 seconds, so it's quite cool. I'll probably be doing a lot more of that. Make a vegetable channel, broad bean. It's a terrible idea. Parody version of Jun's Kitchen would be excellent. I could do a parody version of Jun's Kitchen. And Jun's Kitchen, of course, has a really cool cat that often features. I've got a cat now, so I could probably do that. That could work. What app do you use to figure out the subway schedule? I use Google Maps. It's amazing. Google Maps is amazing. You don't need anything else. It'll tell you everything you need to do and go. Okay, you can totally organise your own meetup. Yeah, I could do. I might be doing some kind of meetup thing in December, although I don't know the details yet, with a few other vloggers. So we'll see about that. We'll see what goes on there. But anyway, I don't know why people want to meet me anyway. I'm not that good. It's pretty boring. If you meet me in real life, you'd be like, oh, shit. I suppose I'm all right to go out with a drink with, but yeah, don't know. Is meeting me that good? Don't know. This is sufficient, isn't it? You can see me wearing a hat through a screen. I don't know. I've often thought of just walking to somewhere like Shinjuku with like Natsuki and just writing, "We're in Shinjuku now. Let's meet for the next hour." Yeah, and seeing if anyone comes. I think a few people would come actually, so that'd be quite cool. I often find when I'm in Tokyo, people do spot me. Like in one day, it happened 10 times, and it was the most weird, craziest thing. On a train, in a restaurant, on the street. And it always makes me look really good because I'm with friends, and then someone will come over and say, "Oh, Chris, is that you? I love your videos." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and like my friends are like, "Wow, you're so famous," and I'm like, "Yeah, definitely famous, yeah." So it's great. It's lots of people bigging me up. So have Natsuki on your next live chat. Yeah, I could do. Only thing about Natsuki is he sometimes, I don't know, I like to censor some of the things he comes out with and says. He is a lot of fun though. Meeting Natsuki and going out for a drink with him would be the ultimate thing. Maybe I should do like a prize for people to come and actually join Natsuki and I for a drink somewhere for like 5 people. That could be cool. Did anything ever happen with you and that French girl? Yeah, it's going very well. It's going very well indeed. Very well. Cool. All right, so I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining this morning, guys, this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you are. And I hope you've learned something of value in this Abroad Japan live vlog thing. I'm going to prepare to go to Tokyo now. And yeah, cool. But yeah, maybe we'll do a Natsuki live chat. I'll think about it. Cool. And I'm going to get some breakfast. So thanks for joining, guys. And if you have any more questions, ask next month. And I'll be posting more stuff to Patreon in the next few days. And the next video is the first video from the Tohoku 365 trip. So yeah, good, cool. Thanks for joining this morning, guys. Never know how to wrap up these videos. It's always a bit awkward because I'm sat in a room talking to a piece of metal and plastic. With luckily there's a comment section there to remind me I'm talking to someone. But talking to a camera on your own in a room after 4 years, still find it really awkward and weird. So yeah, never get over that. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Have a great day wherever you are. And again, a huge thanks for supporting the Abroad Japan channel on Patreon. Lots of cool stuff coming up. All the best, guys. Take care. Think of something funny to say. Yeah, that wasn't cool. That was just shit. Yeah, I can't think of anything. It's awful, isn't it? It's supposed to be funny. It can't be funny in the morning.